Let's talk about Italy. We mentioned them a little bit before, just about Lori, you especially said the game management. That's what England had over them. It's that experience, that depth on the bench. But what's maybe, Lori, especially from your perspective, because you've had such an inside scoop and detailed overview of this team because you've been calling games. What's maybe the biggest positive Italy can take away from this Euros? Because I still think, even though they went out today, it's a win in a way looking forward for this national team.
I think you have a team that has a high level of sophistication, incredible like individual talent, and you've only had a pro league for 3 years, or that's been fully pro for 3 years. They have one player that plays outside of that. Well, now Sofia Cantore, who's coming to the Washington Spirit, but outside that, Caruso's the only one that plays. She plays with Bayern Munich. So everybody else is playing within that domestic league in Italy. So I think that one speaks to what they have going on in the high level that they have in Italy. But also just, I think what Soncin has done for this team is like, they have so many ways that they could have showed up. And that's a part of the challenge against the teams that they've faced in this tournament, is that you have to prepare for a lot of different realities against Italy. And I think as they just continue, like, okay, for instance, I'm looking at Salvi, right? I think she was one of the best center backs in this league. The only thing that maybe would separate her from being one of the best in the world is that elite level athleticism. So there's still like a little bit of gaps there in terms of making up for in their pro league, helping that and just continue to build depth within their entire national team. But I would just say overall the sophistication to be able to float in and out of different formations, and a real like understanding of how to do that across the board.
Kel, looking at this side, I think a big question mark for a lot of people, myself included, was the depth on this side. But we were talking before the match, you were bummed that Severini wasn't in the starting lineup for Italy. Do you think that maybe their bench is underrated, or is it a fair assessment that they need more depth on this Italian side, especially looking late in matches like this?
Yeah, I think it's maybe not. I mean, could you say depth from a perspective of like skill, talent? No, maybe experience, kind of like what Lori's saying. Yes, because they only have now going to be 2 players playing outside of the Italian league. But yeah, like I was in the chat while we were watching the game, and I was saying I really wanted to see Severini play, or I was bummed she wasn't starting because I feel like she had a fantastic match against Norway. I think she was a difference maker. I agree with
that. Her and Caruso were exceptional. I thought they could have really caused issues against Walsh today, which they didn't necessarily take advantage of.
Yeah, because she was running off of Garelli a lot, and just I liked the way that she found little pockets and made little back shoulder runs and broke lines. So no, I do. I think their bench, I mean, I guess if people were saying their bench is underrated, or what, underrated?
Like, they don't know. I'm saying I think their bench has been underrated, but most people have said they don't have enough depth on their team to win this tournament.
No, I would agree with you, Darian. I think that's an underrated bench. They have different players. Like Piemonte, very different than Girelli coming in, and you see why they would have brought her on late in the game to hold up play. And
exactly.
Yeah.
I've never really thought that they didn't have depth.
Yeah. I again, like, loved watching this team play. I'm very sad that their tournament is over because it was a joy to watch them play. Like, I really, I became an Italian fan. So, yeah, big fan.
Me too. Me too. Stole my heart. The Swiss and the Italians. Yeah. Looking at Soncin, though, his first time coaching in a major tournament, coaching a women's team, not that much run-up time. How do we rate his ability to lead this team to a semifinal? I mean, let's say on a 1 to 10 scale, Kel, what would you rate him?
I mean, I'd give him a 10 out of 10, maybe 9 out of 10 because he didn't make it to the final. But like this guy,
knock one off.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he hasn't ever coached a side of this level at a tournament of this nature, and to come in, and to me, I think that Italy was one of the most well-rounded teams when it came to like on-field performance. I think that they looked like they were all on the same page. They clearly understood what their tactical strategy was going into each game. It changed from game to game, and that's really difficult to do as a national team coach. Like, you don't see a lot of national teams able to have that flexibility tactically and change different formation. I mean, some you do, but I've played for national team coaches that are like, this is our formation and this is what we're playing and we're not changing it, you know? So for him to be able to come in and coach these players in a way that allowed them and gave them the confidence to be able to execute multiple different tactical ideas, formations, fantastic job by him.
Yeah, give him his flowers, Laura.
Yeah, I completely agree. I really enjoyed this. And they were even, I think it was Girelli that was talking in maybe the presser yesterday before the game about how much they've had respected him. They've enjoyed his knowledge. And he does feel like, if I remember his story correctly, he has been kind of like a journeyman coach. He's coached in a lot of different realms, but just not in the women's game. And I think it showed that he obviously has picked up a lot of different ideas from his different coaching experience, which I think has been valuable coming into this tournament. But yeah, I mean, Girelli in particular and the other players that spoke had I think Cantore as well, loads of positive things to say about him and how he's unified the team in such a short amount of time as well.
Yeah, I'm so looking forward to seeing the evolution of this team in years to come, because I think that they're going to be one of those underrated teams still that it's unexpected on what they're going to do because they've proven they have so much flexibility in their squad. So I absolutely love it. Shout out to the women's national team for Italy. Our hearts are with you. That was tough.